Welcome back again to Craft Fashion Media. My name is Eva Rosie. In this video I'll be showing you guys how to make different types of circle skirt, as well as the amount of fabric that will be needed for every of the model that you would love to achieve. This tutorial is very in-depth and it will take you through each step by step for achieving a well-tailored different types of circle skirt. And these circle skirts include 180 degree, 360 degree and 720 degree circle skirt, whether long or short. So if you are here for the first time, I welcome you and I would love you to see my other videos and consider if you're gonna subscribe to this channel. And to everyone supporting me, I want to say thank you for supporting me. So without further ado, let's get started. So before we start, I want to make this clear. Every of the measurements that I'm going to use here is going to be by inches. So don't look at the tape I am using. I am referring every of the centimeter as inches. So when you want to achieve yours, use the regular inches tape. The reason is for us not to have fabric all over the place. I want to just bring you closer to the tutorial so you can see actually very well what I want to achieve. So let's take a look at the formula to achieving a 180 degree circle skirt. So as you can see on the screen, the formula is R, which is radius equal to circumference over pi, where pi is 3.142. That is, C is circumference. So it is very simple. You take your waist circumference and divide it by pi. I am going to be making use of 28 inches as my waist circumference. So I am going to take it and divide it by pi, which is 3.142. And I am going to have 8.91. So now that we have achieved our radius, which is 8.91, I am going to take it up to the nearest figure, which is 9, because of seam allowance. So I'm going to make use of 9 instead of 8.91. So as you can see, the fabric unfold that will be needed for this is 3 yards of fabric by 45, which is 108 inches by 45. So let's proceed. Now after the first fold, which you've already seen on the screen, so you are going to fold again. You will hold one end and fold again. So I am going to insert my radius, which is 9 inches, just like I said before. Our radius was 8.91, so I am going to round up the number because of seam allowance and make use of 9 as my radius. So I'm going to take my tape measurement and place it from that pointed edge and mark the 9 inches. After marking out my radius, I'm going to use my curve ruler to connect it, as you can see. Now let's insert the length of the skirt. So I'm going to place my tape at that point where I have the blue pen and take it down and mark my skirt length. And I will bring it back and place it where I just marked to get the accurate measurement, and I will rotate it right round to insert the full length of the skirt. And I will connect it with my curve ruler. Now I will cut them out with my scissors. And this is the outcome. You can see we have a half circle skirt, that is 180 degree skirt. So now I want to confirm my waist circumference. So I have 29.5 which is very perfect for my seam allowance as well. And I have a full length of 38 inches as the maximum length for this fabric that I used. So this is the result. The next step is to create our band. So get a fabric unfold as you can see on the table. Then you determine the width of your band and insert the measurement. So I am going to use my waist circumference as 28 inches. And my band overlapping is going to be 1.5 inch plus seam allowance. That will be 30 inches in total. So, and I am going to add the band width to be 2.5 inch. So I should have a total length of 30 inches, both the band overlapping and the seam allowance, while the width is going to be 2.5 inch plus 0.5 inch for the seam allowance. So this down part is my seam allowance of 0.5 inch. While this right side is for my overlapping. So we have a total length of 30 inches as my waist circumference for the band and 1.5 inch for my overlapping. So the next one is still 180-degree circle skirt, but here I am going to be making use of the fabric that is by 60. We have 3.5 yards of fabric, which is 126 inches by 60. Altogether is going to be 3.5 yards of fabric. As you can see the way I folded it, I have my first fold already. As you can see the folded edge, I'm going to fold again. And I will use the exact measurement that I used for the first skirt as well as the formula for 180-degree circle skirt. If you can still remember, I used 9 inches as my radius for the first skirt, and I'm going to repeat the same thing. I hope you can see the difference between these two. For the first skirt, we were able to achieve a length of 38 inches with that 3 yards of fabric by 45. While this one, we are going to achieve a length of 53 inches with 3.5 yards of fabric by 60. So that is the difference between the two. Now I am going to insert the full length of the skirt, as you can see, and I will make a mark and I will take it back to the pointed edge, placing my tape where I just made the mark and rotate it right round. The reason why you do it this way is to get the exact full length of the outfit. And I will connect with my ruler. And here we have a total length of 53 inches. As you can see, we are going to have the same. We have the same one piece of skirt, but it's a longer version of 53 inches of length. And here you can just decide to cut through it, and you can decide to make it two-piece and add a pocket. This is optional if you want to do that. So you cut the two sides of it and the other side of it to have two panels and add your pocket if you wish to do that, and it's also beautiful. And that is done. This is the result you're gonna get. The next one is still 180-degree circle skirt. So now, assuming you have a fabric that is by 45, but you want to achieve a very long dress or skirt and you don't know how to go about it, but you have a fabric that is by 45, like Ankara fabric that we all know that is by 45. So all you need to do is to get a 6 yards of Ankara, and when you get these 6 yards of Ankara, you divide it into 3. You have 2, 2, 2, which is 6 yards. So you take one out of the 3 that you just divided and fold it horizontally, as you can see, and cut through it. After cutting this, the next thing you have to do is just to take one piece of this one that you just cut and add each of it on the other 2. You merge them together at the selvage. So just take a look at how I am joining the 2. So after doing this, you repeat the same thing on the other one that is left. Now we have 2 pieces of 6 yards of fabric. So what you need to do is to hold it the way I am holding it now from one end. Remember, the place you joined should be towards the down part. So up there you have to hold one end and fold the same way I am folding it. Now after the folding, you have to determine what you want to use it to make. It can be a very long skirt, it can be for a wedding dress that you will have a very long version of 180. So but for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can use this to achieve a very long dress, as you can see on the screen. So the next thing to do is to insert your shoulder measurement. So you place your tape. If your shoulder measurement is, let's say, 15 inches, what you need to do is just to mark 7.5. From that pointed edge, you place your tape and insert 7.5. So when you insert that, you take your ruler and rule a line at that level and confirm if the line that you just drew is enough for your shoulder measurement. So now from the folded part, I'm going to use that as my center front. So whatever I am doing on the fabric, I'm going to take that part as the center front. So now I am going to insert my armhole. So you measure your armhole and insert it towards that part. And draw your bust line as well. Insert your bust measurement and connect it with your curve ruler. So it depends on what you want to achieve. You can still use this to make a very long skirt. It's gonna be as long as 67 inches length, and it's going to be 2 panels. So it depends on what you want to achieve. If it is a skirt or a dress, it's up to you. You make your choice, but this is how you can achieve it. You will have a total length of about, like this one that I just made, I have a total length of about 67 inches length. You decide the depth of your neck and the width of your neck and insert that from that center front. and make your connection with the curve ruler. So, and you place your tape from that angle to insert the full length of the dress. So it's very simple to make, and that's how you will have it very long. Like this one, I have it as long as 67 inches length. If you make use of those fabric that I just used, Ankara fabric 6 yards, the total length of the fabric is 216 inches by 45. That is 6 yards. You just divide it into 3, take one piece out of the 3 and cut through it, and add the pieces on each of the other 2, so and make your dress. So after this, the next thing to do is just to take the panel, the front panel, and place it on the remaining fabric and cut the back panel. So while cutting your back panel, just ensure you decide how you want the back neck to look. So you insert the measurement that you desire for your back neckline. As you can see, this one is a little bit higher at the back, so you decide yours and insert that. So as you can see, the 2 panels are ready. It is very simple and it looks gorgeous when you do it this way. You can decide to add a pocket because it's 2 panels, and this is the result. So guys, the next one is going to be 360 circle skirt. Stay tuned and keep watching. So as you can see, I have it already set. So the quantity of fabric that we are going to be making use of is 90 inches by 45, which is 2.5 inches of yards of fabric by 45 inches. As you can see, I already have it on fold. So this is how you're gonna fold it. So but before then, let's take a look at the formula for 360-degree circle skirt. Is R equal to circumference over 2 pi. The other one was just a pi, but now it's going to be 2 pi. So all you need is take your waist circumference and divide it by 2 pi. The other one was 3.142. So you're going to multiply the 3.142 by 2. Then you're going to have 6.284. So that 6.284, I'm going to divide my waist circumference with that, and I will have 4.45. So but because of seam allowance, I'm going to make use of 4.5. So after the first fold, I'm going to double fold again. So as you can see, I have folded another one, so I have it on double fold. So now my radius is 4.5. I am going to insert that from that angle. After doing this, I'm gonna use my curve ruler and connect the radius that we just inserted. And when we open up this radius, we are going to have our waist circumference complete. So now I am going to insert the full length of the skirt. So as you can see, I have about 18.5 inch. I'm going to take it back to the pointed edge to insert the full length correctly. And I'm going to connect with my ruler. So I have at least a total length of 18.5 inch, and I'm going to cut through it to have my full circle skirt. So for the waistband, we are still going to make use of the band that we already did for the first skirt that we drafted. So they are all going to be the same. So when you measure the center, you will have your full waist circumference complete. And here is our result. The next is going to be 360-degree skirt, but it's going to be a longer version of that, and it's going to be 2 panels we are going to be making use of that same formula we used for the previous one, which is R equals to waist circumference over 2 pi. So, and we are going to apply the same method. So, and as you can see, I have my fabric already folded, and the amount of fabric that will be needed for this is going to be 5 yards of fabric. So you take that 5 yards of fabric by 60 and divide it into 2. So you take one part of it and fold the same way I am folding right now. So each of it is going to be 90 by 60 inches, which is going to be 2.5 yards. So you work with each of it differently. So I'm going to insert the waist radius of 4.5 inch, that is 4.5 if you can still remember. So, and I'm going to insert the measurement that I have. So after inserting my waist radius of 4.5 inch, so I'm going to insert the full length of the outfit, as you can see. So for this particular one, we are going to have it as long as 40 inches of length. So I will insert that and I will cut it off. And that is sorted out. Then I will take the other remaining fabric. So just like I said, it's going to be 2 panels. So I will take the other fabric and repeat the same thing. So by the time you join the two of them together, you have your 360 of 40 inches length. So that's it. And that is our result. Next is still going to be 360 degrees circle skirt with 6 yards of fabric. It is going to be longer than the one that we just made. We are going to use the same formula and the same process, the same radius and everything. So, but the fabric quantity is going to be different, and it's still going to be 2 panels. So here we are going to be making use of 6 yards of fabric. You remember the last one was 5 yards of fabric. So this 6 yards of fabric is going to be by 60. And you take these 6 yards and divide it into 2. You have 3 for each. So, and you are going to work with each of these differently. So as you can see how I folded the first fold. So I'm going to fold again diagonally, as you can see. This is the 3 yards of the fabric. So I'll have one of this and I will have the second one of it. So I'm going to work with these two separately. So here I'm going to take the waist radius that we already have as 4.5 inch for the 360 degree circle skirt, and I'm going to insert that. And I will connect with my ruler, as you can see. So I'm going to insert the full length of the skirt as well. So this one, we are going to have it as long as 50 inches. Remember the other one was about 41 inches or 40 inches. So by the time you hem it, you will have as long as 50 inches or 51 inches, and it's going to be 2 panels. So after inserting the full length of the skirt, I'm going to connect with my curve ruler. And I'm going to cut them off. And I will take the remaining fabric and repeat the same thing that I just did. Just like I told you, there are going to be 2 panels. So you repeat the same thing on the remaining 3 yards of fabric. And when you join the two together, you have your 360 degree circle skirt of 51 or 50 inches length, and this is our result. So the next one is going to be 720-degree circle skirt. So this is going to be 360 times by 2. That will give us 720-degree circle skirt. So we are going to reference our 360-degree circle skirt, and we are going to divide the radius that we use for the 360 circle skirt into 2, because we are going to have 2 panels of 360. So I'm going to divide the radius by 2, and I will have 2.25. So I'm going to use that as my waist radius. It is very simple. Just take your 360, divide the radius by 2, then whatever you get is going to be your radius for the 720-degree circle skirt. Just take a look at what we have on the screen. I have 360-degree circle skirt formula, which gave me 4.5. So I took that 4.5 and divided it by 2. Just look towards the red box. Then I have 2.25, and that is what I'm going to use as my radius for the 720-degree circle skirt. It is very simple, and I'm going to insert that towards that edge. After doing this, I'm going to repeat that on the other 2.5 yards of the fabric, and I will insert the length of my outfit. So I want to make something clear here. It depends on the length that you want to achieve. It's not a must that you must use 5 yards of fabric. All depends on the length of the outfit that you are making. So the shorter the length of your outfit, the lesser the fabric you're gonna use. So in the end, I'm going to tell you if you use by 60 or by 45, the length you are going to achieve at the end of the day. So keep watching. So after inserting the length of my skirt, I am going to connect it, and I will cut through it to have my 2 panels for the 720-degree circle skirt. Now that I have the 2 panels, I'm going to cut through each of it. This is to allow me to join the 2 of them together. After joining the 2 of them together, you will discover you will have a very massive, as in it's going to be a very full circle skirt. So what I want to say is, if you use a fabric that is by 60, you are gonna have about 28 inches of length maximum, and if you use by 45, you're going to have 20.5 inches max. So but this depends on your waist circumference. If you have a very large waist circumference, the length you're going to achieve is going to be reduced, and if you have smaller one like mine, is going to increase the length of your outfit. So as you can see, this is the outcome. So the next one is still 720-degree circle skirt, but it's going to be a very long dress or skirt. This is the type you see on wedding dresses. You see them so massive. So the quantity of fabric that we're going to be needing for this particular one is going to be 12 yards of fabric. So that 12 yards of fabric, you divide it into 4. So you will have 3 yards of fabric on each division that you made. So, and you will have 4 panels of this for this outfit. So as you can see, I already have them. I have my first panel, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. So you're gonna take them and work on each of it differently. So now we are going to reference our 720-degree circle that we just did. So whatever radius that I used for the 720-degree circle, which is 2.25, I am going to take that 2.25 and divide it by 2, and I will have 1.125. The reason is because the normal 720-degree circle will have 2 panels, but this particular one we are going to have 4 panels. That is why our radius has reduced. But in the end, when you sum up everything together, you will still come back to 28 inches waist circumference that we have. So let's proceed. Now I am going to take each of the panel and insert the 1.125 as the radius of my waist circumference, and I'm going to repeat this on all the panels. So after this, I am going to insert the full length of the skirt. With this quantity of fabric, I was able to achieve 58 inches length of skirt. Just like I said before, it all depends on your waist circumference. With the circumference of 28 inches, I was able to achieve 58 inches of length for each panel. So if you have a larger waist circumference, it's gonna reduce a little bit, not all that much, but you will still have it very long. You can imagine when you have a skirt length of 58 inches, almost 60 inches. That's very long and very massive. So you're going to repeat this on all the panels. So by the time you sum up what you have as your radius, you're gonna put them together. Like this one, I have it as 7.5. So when you put them together, you will discover you will have the exact waist circumference that you needed. So this is our result with 12 yards of fabric. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you all for your patience, and I hope to see you soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Bye for now.